I've made over $1 million trading meme coins on this channel, and in this video I'm going to show you a gambling strategy which can actually make you a lot of profit on Pump Fund and Solana, for example. Even like any chain that you invest into, you're going to make money with this strategy. So gambling is always going to be in our nature. I spent a few hours researching the history of gambling, and it's crazy to know that this is actually inside of our human nature. Instead of it now being card games or poker. Nowadays, it's a 24-hour casino where people can get rich from a small amount of money, but this game's actually already been solved. You see, since ancient Egypt, gambling has been a thing. Since 3000 BC, there was dice games in Mesopotamia and betting games in ancient China and Egypt, even India. Early games combined entertainment with religious or divine practices. So you see those religious meme coins right now in the hundreds of millions of dollars of market cap. You see those AI meme coins right now in the hundreds of millions of dollars of market cap. That's already been a thing. You see, back in the day, people used to use religious practices, right? Or they used to play card games because people wanted to turn a small amounts of money into a lot of money. Even in the medieval empire, right? Some things which you might even remember, right? Not remember because you was there, but remember from like school or something like that, for example. There was casinos in Venice, right? There was even a lottery in the 15th century. And in the Middle Ages, you've seen things like this, where people wanted to gamble and play dice games, and it became more of a thing. Now, there was a big transition. Gambling went from religious, then it went to formalized practices, and then in the 19th century, it went completely degen, right? You see, you had casinos on the water where they would do poker games, and you see in all of the cowboy type stuff. You had horse betting go absolutely mainstream, and people just became absolute degenerates, right? Similar to today's society, it goes in waves, because after that, we have our area, what you call like the 20th or the 21st century, where you had slot machines, right? Casinos became digital, right? Instead of having to sit on the roulette table and socialize, you could sit there by yourself and bet the house. This guy here is probably betting like $10,000 games. Nobody would know. Nowadays, we have Solana, the 24-hour casino where you can bet and gamble. You can turn $50 to $1 million, because the difference here is there's a limit, right? You play the game, you bet, and the prize pool will grow. And your goal is like, he's looking at that prize pool thinking one day I'll get that. And he's just spinning and spinning and spinning. But at the end of the day, eventually he has to go home. With Solana, it's 24 hours. That's the reason why I think that this cycle is going to be the most degen cycle that we've had. And if you follow this strategy, which has already been solved, you can actually make life-changing gains. Because if you look at this guy over here, right, you might know this person. This guy is one of the highest earning poker players, if not the highest earning poker player in the entire world. This is Phil Ivey. He makes a full-time living from gambling, from being a degenerate. He embodies the skill level of a true degen, right? Where most people would shy away and be like, I'm not a degen. This guy is a complete degen, and it works to his advantage, because if you compare that to today's society, we have the 24-hour casino. We have things like Act, which is up 176% today. We have Memes AI up 20x today, 2000%. We have Viora is online, which is up over 1000% today, and Truth Terminal, which is up 450%. Like right now, at the time of recording this video, it's AI season. AI coins are coming left, right, and center. Sleeping right now is getting very, very expensive, but people are shying away from it. There are some people who will be like, nah, I'm not, I'm just messing around with memes. And you've got this guy, which is like, no, I'm all in. Like this is me. He embodies it. And as you know, your personality creates your personal reality. When you embody this with a strategy, it can really become a full-time thing. I think meme coin trading, meme coin investing, if you follow a strategy, can be a very, very lucrative thing, especially if you follow this strategy. However, in poker, there are many things which can transition to crypto gambling. In poker, there is something called variance. You see, Phil Ivey, right, is often in these types of spots where Bill Perkins isn't. Bill Perkins is actually a famous stock trader. He's actually very, very good. I think he did stock trading or venture capital, and now he's just a full-time poker player. Right? In fact, there's something which I want to do. I used to play poker a lot myself. He's in a situation where he's actually down 95%. He's only got 5% chance to win, and there's only 2 cards which can save him. And this guy, the video is so funny because this guy's looking at him and he's looking at Perkins and he's like, Perkins, you finished. Right? I've got you. This is a multi-million-dollar competition. We've been playing for like 2 days straight for over like 40 hours. And now you've only got 5% chance of winning. Take your cards, move them off the table. I've got you. And then somehow Perkins flips the script, hits the 6 on the river. His face says it all. And he's absolutely shocked. He's absolutely wiped this guy out of the competition. It kind of reminds me on, Pump Fun. Right? When you go on to Deck Screener, you've put your support and resistance, you finally found the play, maybe you enter down here and you're like, boom, I've made it. The chart starts ripping, you're posting your PNL in the chat, you're telling your friends that doubted you, I made it. You're getting ready to hand in your job, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose everything, right? Dev rugs, maybe the Solana price starts coming down, BTC starts crashing, some news comes out, whatever, but the price goes to 0, right? You can have everything right, everything perfect in the trade. You can be correct, and then somehow a sliver of that chance can go to 0. In poker, they actually develop a strategy for that. They have something which is called an edge, right? An edge through something called a solver, which gives you a basic strategy. So they mapped out all the scenarios from all of the cards, and they gave a stats on exactly when you should be betting, exactly when you should be folding, which means not playing the plays you shouldn't be taking, and the ones which you should be doubling down on. And when they ran it through the solver, they found a lot of interesting things and combinations which everybody else was playing, which they shouldn't have been, which gives them an edge. Over time, right, even though sometimes you can have it wrong, you can be down and you can have everything right, you can be, 95% chance of winning and still get ripped by the market. Over time, statistically, if you play this strategy, you actually have an edge on the market. Now in crypto, you might have your edge, right? You might have your alpha groups, like mine, for example, where statistically, I went through all of my trades, and you can see statistically, if we take every single play, there's an edge, right? Some plays might do a 4.8x. Some plays might do a 1x, right? Some plays might just be a straight up rug, right? But ultimately, sometimes you get things like a 43x, right? And I tracked every single call from this channel, even though there's a few rugs in there. And statistically, we have an edge on the markets. We are statistically profitable. However, as you know, it doesn't always turn out like that, because the difference between betting as a poker player and betting as an absolute degen in Telegram can be whatever alpha groups you follow. Maybe you follow like 10 or 20 of them, and you take all the plays. I guarantee you at home are probably betting different amounts, right? And we'll get into that on why I think that strategy is now broken. Because in poker, they have things like bankroll managements. That's a set amount on how much we should be gambling. They avoid going all in too soon, so they're not betting all of their money and putting themselves at risk when they've just started the game, right? They select a very few amounts of plays to be making, where they are in the market, so their position matters. Meaning, are we betting the same in the bull market as in the bear market? Are we betting the same when BTC is about to break out and slightly at resistance than we are, when we're going? See, for example, right now, BTC is about to break out. But we've seen when it had this slight pullback over here, market crashed, right? So many meme coins pulled back. You can see it right here. The whole entire market, every single coin on that pullback pulled down, right? So your position and where you are in the market matters. Bluffing, right? In poker, they can bluff. They read their opponents, they vary their bet sizes, they fold when necessary, and they adapt to their environment. These things, I'm sure, are firing off brain cells and making you think, wait, this relates to crypto a lot. Because it does, right? It really, really does. Because when it comes to crypto, there's things like bankroll management. How much money can you afford to lose when you're playing the game? Choosing the right coins gives you an edge. Market timing gives you an edge, Research and fundamentals gives you a massive edge because not everybody's doing that. Dollar cost averaging, diversification, and emotional control. In fact, even if you want to read up more on this, guys, I'm going to leave the link for this Whimsicle down below so you can go along with it with me, because I have some very interesting things that can actually give you even more of an edge. And I actually wrote them down here. So how can we take those things into our hands? How can we look at this and go, okay, poker players have figured this out. They've got solvers, they've scanned all of the hand possibilities, and they've developed a strategy which has helped them win. People like Phil Ivey are making a full-time income off of having an edge on the markets. Now, the poker space is actually catching up. Everybody understands basic strategy. Everybody understands the edge. So now it's kind of break even. But I guarantee you guys, in the crypto market, all of these people playing this game right now, right, are not playing with the edge. And you, if you follow this, what I'm about to give you, you're going to have an edge, right? So, first thing, how can we take this into account? Well, the first question you have to ask yourself is, how much money do I want to risk in total? You might have a 9 to 5, you might have a huge portfolio, whatever it is. But this guy cannot be playing the same game as this guy. You cannot play the same game when you have $200 as when you have 20 grand or when you have $200,000. You have to play a different game, right? You have to be able to follow the limit. So in basic strategy, it says, right, you have to have risk management. You have to be able to, for example, limit your trades to 1% or 5%. You know, day traders know this already, right? When they try to have an edge on the day trading market. But Solana people, the reason why you're losing a lot of money right now is because you might be seeing this breakout over here. You might be like, right, we're about to break out. You know, we've got some type of cup and handle here, for example. And if we break this, we go from the bottom to the top, we're going to break out all the way up here. Whatever your thought process is, right? Whatever makes it logical for you. And then you're going to bet over here in Viora, for example, 5 sol. But whenever it comes to betting on ACT, you see actually like, okay, it's at $64 million market cap. Maybe it goes up to 200 million. So here I'll bet 20 sol, right? So your bet sizes is different based on the risk and based on the market cap. But actually statistically in poker, it's actually kind of wrong, because as you can see, the average person ends up going all in on these plays. They see it's about to break out. They see we're about to pump. They see even me, I might make a post, and they're like, right, I'm all in. I've got the alpha. It's life changing. If this is a 10x, you know, I can turn my $200, right, to, you know, $20,000 with, you know, 100x or whatever. So they put all of their Solana, they full pour it into one play. However, the right decision to make is actually buying the same amount of any meme and only slightly increasing for the alpha callers that you get. So you'd put in 1% on a full degen play, and you'd actually put in 5% on a play where you have alpha on. Very, very different strategy. It's the reason why poker players, again, manage to survive, because they might full port when they have a 100% advantage, but even when they're at 95, 80, they're only betting a little bit more, because the game in poker is actually about survival. Similar to the game in crypto. If you survive the longest, you thrive the longest, okay? Now, let's take an example. You have 10 Solana, right? And yes, I think that Solana is going to $200 minimum. So that 10 Solana is $2,000. You see this play again, right? You see the cup and handle, right? You're like, right, if we just break out here, retest, coin, we're at least going to all-time high. You know, that's a, you know, 2, 3x or whatever. I'm out. So I got my 2, 3x. I've made my money. I'm going to keep it moving. Your $200 investor who has just $200, if you have no alpha, so you just found this on Deck Screener, you're going to take a 1% risk. So you're only going to bet $2. Now, I bet at home you're laughing, because you having $200 to your name, I'm talking like this is your last 200 bucks. You probably think, I'm going to put this last 200 bucks in, and I hope it flips. I hope it goes to the moon. If it goes down, I'm going to blame whatever KOL showed it, Right? I'm going to go in the chat and be like, whatever. If you have alpha, you should only bet $12 because statistically, right, you want to be able to play this game for the long term. Statistically, you might have an edge. You might hit multiple 1000x's like TSE. You might hit a 56x on Tonki, for example. Remember, all of these messages are actually in here. You can see I put the link for Tonki, got over 6,000 views on the 23rd of June. Right? So all of the, like, these things did happen. These things are real. However, you might have run out of Solana by the time over here because you went all in on SHIB, right? Or you went all in on MOAS, made a 2x, and didn't sell and got rugged, right? Because you wasn't following the strategy. You put your whole 200 bucks in, missed out, and then the 5 plays next to a 10x. Right? People that are watching this right now that probably feel that they've done this before, and it's okay, right? You just have to know, now you have a strategy to follow, 1 to 5%. The person with a $20,000 portfolio, right, for example, takes a 1% risk, only puts in $200, and I pull my hands up. Many times I've gone $1,000, $2,000 on plays. I don't know, I've got to blame is myself, because if I was following the right risk management, 1 to 5%, I should only be putting in actually $1,000, right? Which is crazy, right? Now, here's an example of how to take profits after that. When you make 100%, I like to actually sell my initial investment. When I'm up 500%, so 5x, I'll sell half, and the rest I'll leave for a moon bag or absolute dust, because I've made money here, I've made money here, and then if it goes down, whatever, if it turns into an act or something like that, runs up to $200 million market cap, I've made life-changing money. And over time, this bankroll grows. Your 20K, right? When you're only risking, $200, your 20K Solana bag is only going down small amounts, and it's going to fluctuate like this. Your whole entire portfolio eventually should look like this. Your portfolio shouldn't be looking like this. 0. And then you have to go bridge more Solana from your 9 to 5, to actually do it. Your long-term bags, where you have a lot of alpha, right, should only still be 5%, 10%, 15%. Right? And maybe you can compound those entries over time if they're not going anywhere. Right? Maybe you have a trade and, you have a bag over here and maybe it's out for 3 to 6 months. Let's take a longer play that I like to use, like TCAT. TCAT's been around now for like 4 or 5 months. You can see TCAT has been around for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. So over time, if you just full ported this, you're going to have a lot of pressure, because you might have a call with serious alpha. You might see all of the community AI coins are going wild right now. All the meme coins are going crazy on Solana. And then you go, I've run out of Solana because I didn't follow a strategy and I lost everything and whatever. And over here, you dump your TCAT to go chase another play on Sol. You get rugged, whatever. And all of a sudden, meme Landy is coming out. Woo! And then you're like, oh my gosh, I bridge back from Solana. I buy the top over here. And everyone's like, oh, AI is popping right now. Right? So then you're like, oh my God, you have to sell here to go back to AI. You hop in AI, 5 AI projects rugging you. Now you've got nothing left. And you're like, no, back to the 9 to 5. Right? That's what happens with most investors. Now, what I have personally been doing right now is I'm genuinely following this strategy. Okay. I've gone over to here, actually, one of my old videos. I've actually connected these bots. So on an old video I made, and you can check it out on my channel, you'll find it. It's called like Telegram bots. I made an example of, you have a 9 to 5, maybe you have your Ledger and Trezor, you have your CEX, right? I loaded up every single trading bot. I loaded up a trading bot on Ton, a trading bot on Tron, a trading bot on Base, on Solana, on BNB, everything, on all chains with the same amount of money. And I'm following this strategy of 1 to 5% investments. And I am buying everything. Every single coin that is showed to me where I have a little bit of like edge on the market, I'm buying it. Because my goal this year is to be able to buy things without having to be emotionally attached to it, because I'm following a strategy. And if you can follow this strategy which I've just taught you, if you can go through and finally start to compare your crypto investing like gambling, you can start to develop a real risk management, not this fugazi risk management that some people say, but a genuine strategy where you can set up your bots, and on your bots you have your 1% and your 5% option on your buys, and on your sells you simply have your 50% and your 10% or something like this. And you strictly, every time you get the CA, you just boom, 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 and you keep your Solana where it is, you'll see over time your portfolio will grow. You'll have an edge in the market, because while everybody else is full porting, aping, not even caring about what they invest into, just going all in wherever they can, you're following a strategy. And long term, as these projects grow, long term, as they get more and more bullish, you'll be in the game, you'll have a bag when things take off. You won't be the person who's bridging to different chains, who don't understand anything about the market, and who spends their time getting rugged left, right, and center, when they know deep down they could have made more money if they followed the strategy. This is an example of how you can compare a poker gambler to a crypto investor, and how you can have an edge over the markets. If you implement what I've just taught you, you watch it again, you will have an edge, you will have a strategy, and you will make money. Now, for those guys that are still listening, soon I'm going to be releasing a free group, a free trading group, where I'm going to be trading DJ memes. I'm going to be adding scanners from everything. I'm going to be setting up bots so people can copy trade. If you want to be in that group, all you have to do, click the link in the description, join the Telegram group, let me know in the comments. If I get enough people commenting, I'll decide to actually make it. It's going to be completely free, and I hope it can give you an edge if you follow this strategy as well, because I'm going to do it either way, and I want to bring you guys with me. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.